The first law of motion is any object at rest will stay at rest or in motion until an unbalanced force acts on it. An example of the first law would be separating the egg.
Hard. There you go. You're doing it. Okay, continue on.
Okay. How this would apply to the first law is by cracking the egg slightly, the gravity will pull the egg towards the batter and change the yolk from rest to motion. Another example of the first law is pouring the batter into the cake pan.
It's good enough.
This applies to the first law because the batter is moving until the cake pan stops its motion. The second law of motion is when you add mass to a moving object. More force will be needed to move the object with the more mass. An example of the second law is adding water while stirring the batter. This applies to the second law of motion because the water is adding more mass to the batter, which will require more force for me to stir the batter.
3, 2, 1.
Another example of the second law is spraying the cake pan. This applies to the second law because the more mass of cooking pan spray you need to come out, the more force needed to press the nozzle.
The third law of motion is when an object that applies a force on another object, the second object will apply an equal force in an opposite direction on the first object.
Go.
For example, for the third law is the batter is pushing on the bowl and the bowl is pushing on the batter in opposite directions. Another law for the third law is the cake pan is pushing on the table and the table is pushing on the cake pan in an opposite direction.